Weeks, Iran believed it held the ultimate trump card, the Strait of Hormuz, a narrow 21-mile-wide choke point through which roughly 20% of the world's oil flows every single day, had become Tehran's weapon of choice. Iranian forces were laying mines, harassing tankers, and threatening to strangle global energy markets into submission. Oil prices surged, insurance premiums exploded, shipping companies rerouted entire fleets to avoid the Persian Gulf, and for a brief, dangerous moment, it looked like Iran was winning that war of economic attrition without firing a single ballistic missile at a U.S. warship. But Washington just responded in a way that changes everything. Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth has ordered the amphibious assault ship USS Tripoli and its embarked Marine Expeditionary Unit to the Middle East, with U.S. Central Command specifically requesting the new force to expand military options against Iran. This isn't just another carrier deployment. This isn't another round of airstrikes. This is the United States putting its most versatile, and most lethal ground-capable force on a ship and pointing it directly at Iran's front door. And when you understand exactly what the USS Tripoli is carrying and what those Marines are trained to do, you begin to realize that the calculus of this entire conflict may have just shifted overnight. Let's be precise about what the Pentagon just moved into the theater, because the details matter enormously. Roughly 2,500 Marines from the 31st Marine Expeditionary Unit, based out of Okinawa, Japan, have been ordered to deploy aboard USS Tripoli, joining an armada that already includes the USS Gerald R. Ford and USS Abraham Lincoln carrier strike groups, with approximately 50,000 U.S. troops already positioned across the Middle East. The full Tripoli Expeditionary Strike Group includes not just the assault ship itself, but guided missile cruiser USS Robert Smalls and guided missile destroyer USS Rafael Peralta. A combined force that adds thousands of Marines, several warships, and F-35 fighter jets to those already operating in the region. Now here is where people need to pay close attention, because USS Tripoli is not a standard transport ship. As a member of the America class, USS Tripoli displaces roughly 45,000 tons and can operate stealth F-35B Lightning II fighters, allowing it to function in certain configurations as a light aircraft carrier capable of conducting offensive air operations. Includes MV-22 Osprey tiltrotors, AH-1Z Viper attack helicopters, UH-1Y Venom utility helicopters, MH-60S Seahawks, and CH-53 Super Stallion heavy lift transport helicopters. A fully self-contained air assault package capable of inserting Marines virtually anywhere within rotary wing range. The USS Tripoli was last tracked speeding through the South China Sea toward the Middle East, with analysts estimating it could take another 10. When it arrives, the United States will have assembled one of the most concentrated and capable expeditionary force packages the region has seen in years. And Iran will have nowhere left to hide behind its Hormuz leverage. To understand why this deployment is so significant, you need to understand the strategic environment it's entering. Operation Epic Fury began nearly 2 weeks ago when U.S. and Israeli forces struck targets across Iran on February 28, 2026, with 13 U.S. service members killed during combat operations, 6 of whom died when a KC-135 Stratotanker crashed in Iraq. Iran hit back. Iranian ballistic missiles struck NATO's Incirlik air base in Turkey, with the USS Oscar Austin using a Standard Missile-3 interceptor to bring one down. Reportedly, the third time in 2 weeks that a U.S. Navy destroyer has intercepted an Iranian missile in Turkish airspace. Meanwhile, Iran's Hormuz strategy was drawing blood in markets. Energy Secretary Chris Wright acknowledged on CNBC that the U.S. Navy was not yet ready to escort oil tankers through the Strait of Hormuz, while CENTCOM confirmed it had already struck over 90 ships, including 30 mine layers, in an effort to keep the waterway open. And Iran's leadership is under severe pressure from U.S. and Israeli air campaigns. Secretary Hegseth publicly stated that Iran's new supreme leader, Mojtaba Khamenei, had been wounded and likely disfigured in the ongoing strikes. So this is the chaos the USS Tripoli is sailing into, a theater where carrier strike groups are already operating, tanker routes are actively contested, Iranian missiles are hitting NATO territory, and Washington is running out of patience with a Hormuz stalemate that is costing the global economy billions of dollars every single week. The Marine deployment isn't a reaction, it's an escalation designed to crack that stalemate wide open. So what does this actually mean going forward, and what are the scenarios the Pentagon is preparing for? Analysts point to Iranian-held islands in the Strait of Hormuz as potential targets. Marine operations to seize or neutralize those islands would directly dismantle Iran's ability to mine and interdict commercial shipping lanes from protected ground positions. Military experts describe the Strait of Hormuz as textbook literal warfare territory. Operations near shore and in confining sea regions, which is precisely the environment Marine Expeditionary Units have been redesigned and retrained to dominate under the Pentagon's force design. The 31st MEU is specifically trained not only for amphibious landings, but for port seizure operations, limited-scale raids, and the seizure of maritime platforms. In other words, exactly the kind of surgical, high-impact operations that could neutralize Iran's Hormuz strategy without triggering a full-scale land invasion. But make no mistake, the option for something larger is now on the table too. A senior U.S. official explicitly confirmed that the Marine Expeditionary Unit will be capable of conducting ground operations if ordered, with the Pentagon declining to rule out that possibility. That statement alone represents a strategic line that was not crossed before this deployment. Washington has gone from airstrikes to putting a ground-capable assault force within striking distance of Iranian territory. Whether that force is ultimately used to clear mines, seize islands, raid IRGC naval assets, or execute something far more dramatic, the message to Tehran is unambiguous. The United States has now committed its most flexible, most dangerous maritime tool to this fight. Iran's leverage in the Strait of Hormuz was always borrowed time. That time may have just run out. So let me ask you this. Do you think the USS Tripoli's arrival signals the beginning of the end of Iran's Hormuz strategy, or are we looking at an escalation that pulls the entire region into a wider war? Drop your take in the comments below, and if this kind of deep dive military analysis is what you come here for, hit that subscribe button. Because this conflict is moving fast and we're going to be with you every step of the way.